before we close the morning session, I would like us to summarize what we have heard from our customers during the session. So would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I think that all of you will agree that the testimonies of our customers were absolutely top-notch. And we captured two things. So we're not going to do justice to the speakers because they covered a lot. But here are a few things that we covered, that we captured. With RIBET, from get-go, we learned about something very profound. If we want to change the world we live in, why don't we start tomorrow? Olivier and his team say, you know, there has been already a lot of trucks and cars and motors and so on and so forth, but I have been in this industry for so long that I believe deeply with my crew of 15, 20 people that we can invent something very different. All of you in this room come always with this starting point. Why not? Could we do different? Then the question is, how different is it going to be? And how difficult is it going to do different from the past? And here's the problem, and I'm pretty sure that you heard that loud and clear from RIBET, is if you really want to start quickly, produce rapidly something that will work, you need to start from the end result, from the experience we want to provide. And RIBET tells us, if you want to deliver a mobility system that is going to be sustainable, you need to put the human at the center. You start from the human experience. And he says it has to be compliant with the regulation and the laws. It has to be safe, and it has to be comfortable, enjoyable, and useful. And I think that you saw continuously in 10, 15 minutes of his presentation how he was moving from an idea, from a new business, to the reality of physics on how to do a new way of doing a seat belt. The platform, as you saw it, is a way to do this reconciliation of a dream and the physics and the constraints of the reality, whether they are legal or physical. And I think it was a beautiful, very short. We didn't see yet the object. We guessed what the object will be, but this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful innovation. So thanks again, RIBET. It was great.
Thank you. So the second presentation was done by Mrs. Eda Yılmaz from Şişecam. She made a presentation named Product Lifecycle Management in the World of Design. She highlighted that they have more than 3 million mold design drawings for more than 6,000 products. They are leveraging big data, process reports, analytics to optimize design process. They have been using Katya since 2014, and finally, they have 6 months sprints from idea to execution.
Yeah, that example was also very interesting because you saw how to reconcile the world of, why don't we design something differently? It starts with a hand, not only with a brain. It starts with a hand. And great designs are designs that last, that work, that are cheap to produce, that create a better value for a company. And something that I captured when I listened was this notion of corporate memory. This point was very important. I don't know if you remember, we're talking about 6,000 designs, but 3 million of molds. 3 million of molds. So over all of these years, they have capitalized this knowledge, this expertise, this know-how from the company. They have captured that not only physically, but also digitally. The big benefit of that is that when you start with a new program, with a new project, sometimes you really start with a blank page. You start from scratch. But many times, you start from the history and you improve it. And being able to move from the corporate memory, I love this word. I really love this word. This corporate memory, and project that in the future in a way that is scientifically correct and that you can manufacture at scale was, I think, not only a question of the industry of glass and containers, but is applied to all the industries we are operating in. So corporate memory, transmission, and capitalization of knowledge and know-how. Fantastic témoignage.
So the third session, Mr. Ali Usunda made a presentation from Erfatec. So what would you like to say?
Yeah, this one, pretty much the same story as before. How do you move from a level of complexity to a level of simplicity? You have a lot of parts if I do remember, it was something like 400 parts, 12 machines. So it doesn't look like huge complexity, but when you start to do the permutation and all the options and all the choices that you have to create a product of one, not a collection of standardized products, but a product of one in the industrial equipment, then the question becomes, how fast can you do that? How agile are you to do that? And in this case, you see that they have been able to capitalize on 3DEXPERIENCE to use SolidWorks in the cloud to do this kind of compute, this kind of transformation, this kind of product of one. And what was particularly interesting is that they say, you know, once you have done that, why do you stop at manufacturing? Why don't you bring these 3D models straight into the market, in the hands of the people who will talk about your product? The marketing teams, the sales teams. So it's a way of bringing the voice of the customer back to engineering and push the innovation as protected, as intact, as beautiful as possible, close to the customer. So this flow of back and forth is becoming really, really important. How do we break the walls between engineering, manufacturing, and marketing and sales? This is becoming really, really important, and bringing a virtual twin of the best, most innovative products in the hands of the people who sell it is better than an Excel file with a bunch of lines and a conceptual description. So power of 3D to sell and expand.
Okay, and finally, the panel just finished. Yeah.
My favorite topic, I should say. I don't know if you noticed, but on the top left corner, there is something written called Dassault Systèmes. It's not by chance. 40 years ago, the founders of Dassault Systèmes said, yes, we are going to start with 3D, because 3D is a way of having a universal language. You understand each other in 3D. Whether you speak Korean, Turkish, Swedish, or French, in 3D you understand each other. But we also said it's system. 40 years ago, we said the most important thing that's going to happen in the future is a system way of imagining, conceptualizing, coordinating, orchestrating knowledge of people, because the world is becoming more and more and more complex. So applying a method, an approach, a methodology, as it was beautifully said before, is as important as the tool. How you think is almost more important than the tools you use. And we are at a stage now where many companies, and I have to say that Turkey has been very, very innovative. You are going to see in the next few weeks, in the next few months, with Hakan and his team, that a lot of universities in Turkey are going to open new curriculum on system engineering. There is an appetite here in Turkey for system engineering that is, I would have to say, in advance compared to other countries in Europe. That's a chance for Turkish companies to really leapfrog the innovation by going to the next stage of engineering and product development. System engineering is focused on the behavioral aspect of the end product that you will deliver. It's about orchestrating supply chain, value network, suppliers, partners, to make sure that you understand each other, not only in geometry, not only in requirements, but also at the highest level of the orchestration of a mission. We believe that the future of product will be not only on model-based system engineering, but mission-based. What is the mission of this bus, this truck, this car, this satellite? What is the mission? How does it interact and operate with other systems around? What systems are inside? So this multi-scale, mark my words, because these topics are very important to understand what we have in the core of the system technology. Multi-system, multi-scale, multi-physics, multi-domain. At the minute you embark in a system engineering approach, you suddenly have a level of clarity, a level of simplicity in the way of looking at the problems, because you can take any kind of complexity and compute it and run what if scenario, where people are precisely correct from an engineering standpoint, but they are from a communication standpoint, all of them looking at the world with a perspective that is connected with each other. So it's an extremely powerful way of not doing something, but approaching the way of innovating. And I was very, very impressed by the conversation here all of you came with very different angles, very different approach, but you saw each and every one of you the power of what it represents. So it's a game changer in the industry, and we're very, very happy to have invested and developed so much the connection between Magic Grid, Katia Magic, Cameo, Dimola, Stimulus, who are other tool set in the system engineering, because this is the future of engineering.
Thank you, Olivier. So again, I want to thank all of our speakers for sharing their experiences with us. So now we will close the morning session. Before we close, your last words?
No? Time to have a coffee and some food.
Okay, thank you very much, Olivier.
Hakan,
thank you very much.
Congratulations again for your first 3DEXPERIENCE Forum. A big thank you to your entire team. I think that we have big egg somewhere over there. And there's been a small team here working really, really hard so far, but it's not finished. You will see now and this afternoon more interesting things coming. So thanks again for this morning.
Thank you.